Hi everyone, welcome back to this episode of Real Talk Tuesday. We have a very special guest today. We'll just be waiting for folks to kind of start trickling in. But we have an incredibly special guest today that we're very excited to have. We have a heavy topic, but I think an important, really important discussion to have today. It's kind of been weighing on all of our hearts, and it's definitely been a really hard week for I think Asian Americans around the world. I see that he's here. Very excited to have a dear friend of Hate is a Virus, someone who's an amazing figure within our community. So I will only be having on one guest. And Vance, if you could request to join, that'd be awesome. Let's see if I can find you. Hold on, I'm just trying to find him in the crowd. Van, could you actually request? I can't find you for some reason. Um, I don't know why I can't. I saw him come in. Sorry, folks. It's a little bit technical difficulties. We're just waiting for Van Ness. I thought I saw him. Let's see. Maybe I missed him? I swear to God. I just talked to him. Wait. Where are you at? Yeah, no, I see him. Wait, is that you? There it is. All right, we're about to get started, folks. Hey, Van, what's
What's up, Sam?
going on?
How you doing?
It's 10 a.m. for you, right?
Yeah, I literally just woke up. I was I went a bit hard last night. I went I got pretty crazy doing some Legos.
Wait. Are you being serious?
Yeah. Yeah, they sent me those huge Lego sets. It was like a Ferrari 488 and I don't know, I just got into it. It took like 5.5 hours and I'm almost done.
Wait, awesome.
Yeah, that's how I go hard, man, so
Yeah. Besides, staying up all night on Clubhouse just shooting the shit.
yeah. But yeah, I guess it's kind of like a good way to kind of keep out. I mean, what you call it? Stay busy and do something fun while kind of just staying away from large areas of people. Uh,
Yeah, I was gonna say so I guess just for I think most of the people on this live know you, but just just give a little context.
yeah.
Uh, how hard is it for you to kind of just go around in public before COVID?
Oh, I mean, it really depends, where I'm at. Um, but mostly it's pretty chill. Like people are pretty respectful. It doesn't get too crazy, you know. It used to be really crazy, back in the boy band days. um, but now more so, I think just because they see me more often and yeah. But it really depends. If I'm like in an area where there's less, I mean, chances, it's like if you're in LA or opposed to, I don't know, um, Oklahoma, I guess. Yeah. it really depends on where I'm at. But yeah, but people are pretty chill, and if they're not, then you just let them know to respect the space, you know. So yeah,
You think like so were you wearing masks before COVID? Is
yeah. Like, you mean before COVID ever hit,
yeah,
or
or COVID, like 'cause like in Korea where they look like wearing masks is like, for safety hazard, and
yeah?
were
I
you
mean, we definitely wore masks. It's more of a usual thing if you're sick in general, or if you're yeah, just out, and then there's a lot of whatever. But yeah, I mean, the masks are pretty much a common thing. So it was never like a second guess or like, oh, do you wear a mask or not? Plus, we went through SARS where, the whole KN95, M95 masks were very much used at that time. I mean, I remember buying a boatload. And right when this thing actually happened, I posted. I was at Home Depot and I bought my N95 mask. I was like, "Get your masks now. You really need it."
right?
Um, but and it kind of just it's kind of crazy thing to watch because you see it unfolding and you know that somehow, some way, it's going to cross over soon. You know,
Mhm.
and did you just like, good God, I mean, it's quite sad to see, but just really hope everybody stays safe still. How is you guys out there? You're in New York, right?
Boston. I actually don't leave my house. Like I
At all?
do. No, I don't leave my house. I mean, like, obviously go get groceries and stuff, but other than that, I'm really much I really do take it seriously to be at home. Um,
Right.
just Clubhouse has really saved me in many ways.
Yeah, that's been like Clubhouse has been really interesting. Like I been on there a couple times and um at first like when I signed on, I think like earlier last month, that's when when we started chatting.
Mhm.
And I literally had to turn off the notifications because I'd keep going on there. And then I was off it for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then get back on. It's like all of Asia seems to be on it now, more and more too. I'm just like, whoa,
Saw you
yeah,
in the Taiwanese room.
right, yeah, yeah, I know. And there's like these Taiwanese rooms. Uh, all these different rooms. I was like, wow, that's interesting. Yeah.
So before we get going, I wanted to just show this is from my special friend Michelle Hanabusa and Uprisers that I'm wearing
Oh yeah.
your shirt. So they remarkably these are still there's a few available. So if you want to go to Uprisers and get your shirt that band designed, this is it's honestly really deep when you actually look at it.
Yeah.
Really see it, but it's like from here is a
Mhm.
Chinese man, and there's wording around, and it's really like just a very powerful shirt. So I'm just kind of showing so you can kind of understand.
So
Just
yeah, so well, like so he's actually stepping on a skull, and then his hand is holding a paintbrush, while his other hand is raising up a peace sign, and the light around it has a lot of words of positivity and encouragement. And then he painted, "Hate is a virus," because this is the collaboration that we did. And I used this picture because it was used back into the Exclusion Act in California, where they would depict Asian people as like the what would you call it? Um, like the troublemakers or the bad people or whatever. Um, and I wanted to take something negative and turn it into a positive. So, but like I heard like this, the artist actually was drawing to prove a point to make it so that people didn't look at it that way, which was kind of, yeah. But yeah. Anyways, it's available still. We're gonna do some other ones coming out with hate is a virus, and I'm excited. It'd be cool. And I just want to commend you, Sam. I think like it's really cool what you're doing and what you've been doing and for the community, for all of us, and I think like your heart for it is just really commendable, and I really appreciate you, man. Seriously.
nah, and it's been before we get into the conversation that we're going to get into today, it's been cool to get to know you, and because like what a lot of people don't know is what you do behind the scenes and how willing you are to give your time. We know that you don't have a lot of it, but just talking from Michelle and myself, just to kind of hear how deeply and passionate you are, and we're going to talk about like Lunar New Year today. That was what the original topic was, uh,
Mm.
but I think we switched it up because you know uh, you were very passionate, angry about what is happening, and it's important that we have these conversations. That's actually why I'm wearing this hat. It says "Make America End Racism." So if you can kind of see it, that says "Make America End Racism." Shout out Jackfruit. Um, you know, I try to be intentional. So let's get into it. You've been posting, and I've noticed that you post a lot about social justice, and you don't just, you're not one of the, you're not someone to stay quiet. Why is that?
I think for me, I've experienced a lot of racism growing up as an Asian kid in California, and it was very, um, I guess, traumatic at that time without even knowing it, of how it affected me and how it affected my thought process of myself, my identity, who I am, and my culture. Um, so when I see it still happening now, it really, I mean, it pisses me off. You know what I mean? So like that's why whenever I do see, and at first it's like, oh, do I really want to talk about this? And the answer is always yes. I always want to talk about it, but I don't want to do it where it's like I do it without thinking, because sometimes I can just like jump the gun and just be like F this, screw this guy, like let's get him kind of thing. But you know, um, there's part of like, how do you put this? There's like a Malcolm X side, and then there's like the Martin Luther King Jr. side. You know what I mean? So there's both
Right behind me.
both of these guys who play a big part of my upbringing too. Because again, I was into dancing when I was much younger. I got into it at a quite young age, so understanding the black culture, and then watching Spike Lee movies and all that stuff, getting educated in different ways. So it was just kind of like yeah, it's just part of me how I kind of grew up on it, Yeah.
So how did it impact you as you went into your career, like both in the entertainment space?
How do you mean? How did it impact me?
Like, did you feel like it was something that your identity and like dealing with racism was something that like was really prevalent like in your life, or was it something that kind of you became more aware of as you got older?
I got more aware of it as I got older because I grew up in Orange County, born in Los Santa Monica, but then also moved to Orange County at a young age, and then I went to Corona Del Mar High School, which was pretty much predominantly all Caucasians, and there's at least 90+% all white people, and and yeah, there was some major BS going on around there. Like literally, I would be getting called, nip, chink, kook, at during PE by the other kids, and the coach is right there too. It's like knock it off, and he wouldn't actually address it. He would just tell them to knock it off, right? So then it would just be them calling me something to them. It would just be like, oh, him calling me something else, kind of thing, rather than a racial slur. And then even the vice principal and everybody. I wasn't like the best student, but you can definitely tell they were picking on me because I was Asian, and they just wanted to. I guess I got suspended for like very stupid reason that wasn't even my fault, and so like as I went to junior year though, I decided to, you know what, I don't want to stay here anymore. So I got an interdistrict transfer where I actually was living in Newport, but I went to Irvine because a lot of my friends were in Irvine, other friends, my cousins, and friends that were Asians, right? And I went there and I was like, oh my gosh, I feel at home. You know, I felt it just felt more chill. Like you felt respected. You felt like you had people there that knew you, understand you, get what you're about. Because like I said, I got into dancing at a young age, and I was like the only kid in um, in high school that was wearing like the cross colors and all the other dance stuff. But uh, all the kids were like surfers, skaters, and then I was going against the grain. And one of my friends, who's an amazing guy, great creative, Pat Tenora, he's the creator of Ruka, RBC. He was like, "Yeah, man." When he told me this, that kind of made me take a step back to think about it because he's like, back then when all the kids were like skaters and surfers, you were like the only one that went against the grain, and then you were the only one that kind of like just did your own thing. Like you were the the real punk rocker. Like you were the ones that was kind of against what the whole school culture was about. And I was like, oh man, that's very nice of you to say because it made me feel like, oh, it's kind of interesting, a different take on it, right? So, but yeah, it definitely, as I grew older, I realized that no, this is something that really needs to be addressed no matter what, no matter who, no matter what race. Like, it's not okay. It's definitely not okay. Yeah.
So what's it like to be, because you're in Taipei right now, right? And to watch it all unfolding, like how are you personally feeling?
Like again, right? Like, when is this going to like at least you really hope that it would get better, and you did feel like it was getting a little better because there were less things being reported. Shout out to China Mac doing his thing, and just all the other Asian artists representing, going against this. It's Daniel Wu, Kung Lei, like all these people that I just see, and Next Shark. It's like these are the people that I'm getting the information from. So, in the beginning, like when the old lady got burned and everything like that, and it was like that. It was kind of just really sad to see and sickening. Um, but yeah, I for some reason I thought it was at least kind of chilling out and calming down. All of a sudden, recently, it just becomes more and more again, and you're just like, what the f? Like, what can we do? What is there a possibility of doing? Yeah, we can post all we want, um, put our money where our mouth is, do all this stuff. Like what Daniel Wu and Daniel Day Kim is doing, I think it's great, getting it together and then I'm always just thinking like, what else can I do? What else can I do? How can I help them over here? Whatever I'm able to bring to the table. And I think just working with you guys and having a conversation, continually bringing the conversation to the public and the awareness is one of the ways. But yeah, man, I'm always still trying to think, you know, what could we do to to stop it? I mean, to just make it better. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll say this. I think you just, giving your support to our organization and the movement that we have, you know, that helps us a lot, right? Because we get a lot of exposure, people are exposed to the work that we're doing because of the platform that you have, right? And you're. I think for us, like we love you. That's why one of the reasons why we love you. Number one is like not just because you lend your platform and then you're looking for anything, but it's more of like you're like what am I? You're like what can we do, right? And it's like we can feel your passion, dude. And I
Yeah.
think clearly from the people that are in the comments, they they definitely know that as well. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because like you're made to feel like you don't belong. You're made to feel like there's something wrong with you, and when growing up in the States, that's how they make you feel. And then sometimes, and then when I moved back here in the beginning, also, you know, the over here too, they make you feel that way at times too because they call you an ABC, right? You're not really from here, but you are from here, and then so it's like you're trying to really find your own identity in life, and um, which is like an interesting thing. But at the end of the day, like yeah, man, I feel like we're all created. by God, and we should all just love each other the way God loves us, and that's one of the ways, Martin Luther King, MLK, right? He's just like, and then Malcolm's like, any means necessary. So, like, how do we balance the two? You know, and
Yeah.
I feel like it really is like that picture behind you. It has got to throw the ball back and forth. There
Hmm.
are times where you need to be more firm and take affirmative action.
I totally agree, and I feel like part of it is we some people just need time to grieve. Some
Mm,
people time to be angry. Some people need time to, just kind of feel exasperated, and other people like they're ready to roll. And I think it's just like making sure we have our leaders that are there to be able to, direct people. And that's what we try to do at Hate is a Virus, and that's why we love you because you always come and you're like, how can I help, right? You're not like telling us like, hey, this is what I'm gonna do. You
right.
how can I help you? And if there was anything that like you really wanted to, let folks know, um, that are watching or that will see this, is there anything that you really wanted to say regarding this, the recent incident, the tragedies?
Oh, I just really hope that people who are watching this, um, or who are watching these things unfold, really just take action, like in any way possible. Let get the information out there. Reach out to whoever you can, whichever way you possibly can, and continually bring light to this. Um, and look at your local, whoever organizations that are. I'm sure there's a lot of people around your area that are sick and tired of seeing this as well and are doing something about it, and to see how you can get involved. Um, Hate is a Virus is a great place, platform. Upriser is a great platform. Whatever China Mac is doing, all these other people who see it and really want to put a stop to it, really get informed, really know about exactly what you can do and what's going on out there, because the more you know, the more power you have.
I think that's really powerful. And when was like the first time you started hearing about these recent events? Like, did you hear it like real time, or do you feel like it took a little bit to get to you?
No, it was real time. It was real time for me because back then, like a lot of it really started happening, when COVID broke out, and I mean, it's been happening. It definitely has been happening, but it just was brought more to light during that time. So when that was happening, that's when, um, yeah, remember I showed I recorded a video and then just kind of like started calling some people out. It's like, come on, man, like everybody, you guys see it. I know you guys see it, but nobody's doing or saying anything about it, which was just ridiculous. And especially if you're, you know, um, making money, off our culture, off our people, then you should be inclined to say something. You know,
Mhm. Were they your or just like other folks with large like
all the other folks with large followings, um, they specifically fly to this area to earn some money.
mm,
So yeah,
yeah, no, I'm not we don't have to name any names. I just was curious.
sure. I already did that.
Did they reach out to you?
No, no, no. I mean, it's all good. They don't need to reach out to me. They just need to do something about it. It's not for me. None of this is really for me. I feel like as long as somebody who could be in harm or in danger, and that is not happening anymore, then that's all. That's all I care about.
Yeah, something I've been really thinking a lot about too is like the fracture within our community. You know,
Hmm.
much as this is happening, like I've seen so much of the infighting. Um,
Right.
like I don't know, just kind of curious on what your thoughts are about that. Like it just breaks my heart, man. Like you would think that we would this would be one way of bringing us together, but it seems like it has in some ways and it hasn't in others.
What are some examples that you see that it hasn't?
I think, in some ways, like it, it's bringing out some of the inter-community divisions, and then um, I would say like the way who's allowed to speak for the community, who's not.
Who's
Uh,
community?
huh?
Who's not allowed to speak for the community?
I think there like it's been a lot of like saying that, oh, like if you weren't fighting this fight, then you're not allowed to have an opinion on like how to fight it, and like a lot of gatekeeping. Um, and I think like also
Dude,
there's a lot of like if you're not like full out like because like a lot of anti-blackness has come out of this as well, like where people are like using this because there's some of the perpetrators were young black men, and the anti-blackness has come out, and um to me it's just so much pain that's just bubbled up and just pouring out right now. And
not about race, it's about humanity, you know. I hear what you're saying, and people are always going to have their ideas and whatever. They're always going to think they're right until they're not. And so
good
that's
point.
the truth, right? Until they realize, shit, like, I'm not right. And it's up to their own character to whether or not they own up to it. Um, but yeah, I mean, the only thing we can do is continually spreading the light and spreading the truth and have grace for people. But also at the same time, be wise in how we articulate and um, encourage, you know. But yeah, I mean, sometimes I really want to go off the handle and just like, like what the heck's wrong with you? You know,
I'm so curious about that actually because you have such a big platform, right? And like the words you say really matter. um and I know you're very like methodical person, right? I feel like that's by nature. Like you're just someone who just by nature is very thoughtful. Um, but I also like there's that like fire in you. How do you manage that?
I pray, man. I really pray at times. I pray a lot about how I should speak at times. Like before I say something, I'll just ask God, like, just give me wisdom, Holy Spirit, just like guide me, like, because I know I will say some stupid shit. Like, I know I will say something that'll get me in trouble. I know I can say something that some would agree with me, and some will be like, oh, well, he's just being ignorant, or he's just being like, he's not thinking. Like, I want to say, go out and, do some, like, do something, right? Um, but yeah, I don't think I can. And I might, who knows? I might one day. I might just do that. But I can't. I'll never do something. But it I really just ask God, give me wisdom, you know, um, because it's so easy for me to. It's like a thin line, hanging by a piece of string kind of thing. Um, but I think you practice that enough to where, then it becomes more and more easy for you to not react, but just to respond.
Mhm. You know, and for folks who don't know, like he really does like is a man of his convictions and what he says. Because like I was going through a really difficult period, and Van reached out and really spoke spoke words of wisdom through me, and that really helped me. And um, and you like followed up about it, and like I know that's something that I won't forget. And it really like honestly I know I told you that it meant a lot, but like I want to like publicly acknowledge that it really did mean a lot.
Thanks, man. Like, I mean, yeah, because I've definitely had experiences with certain things that you were kind of going through. So to me, it was just like, well, let's see how you can help, because yeah, there's things that we just don't need to do, and we just need to trust God with it. So, um, yeah, yeah, for sure. What I wanted to ask you something like, so what are some of the things that you guys got going on for Uprisers and Haters Virus?
Yeah, so we're definitely really working on how do we, I think we found out like who we are as an identity, and like that's a huge testament to our co-founders, Tammy Cho and Michelle Hanabusa. If please follow them. If you're not following Hate is a Virus already, please follow us in the work that we're doing. But follow them because there are and up when we are uprisers. And what we're really trying, we've really figured out who we are. Like, we're trying to not just amplify, but mobilize, right? So we amplify what's going on in the community, but we mobilize in the sense of like what we haven't seen before um, is we haven't seen all of the organizations in our community come together. And so our big focus is to start like communicating and getting our communities to like communicate with each other and starting that conversation. And so that we're not just like all doing our own thing. Instead, we're coming up together as a family, and that's really our mission this year. So we'll be doing a crowdfunding event starting out Friday. We're making some announcements on that. It will be doing it on Clubhouse. Yeah. We're putting on a pretty cool event with Jason Lee and Jackie Fern. Um, so actually, I've been meaning to hit you up about that. I'll message you after. Um, but yeah, so I think what we're really trying to do some like actually bring our community together, right? We talk about it all the time,
Right.
but if not now, when?
Not us who.
So yeah, man, it's just man, I'm tired, man. It's just of watching our people continuously suffer and like we're screaming at the top of our lungs constantly and no one's hearing us.
And what's crazy too, it's like they really just prey on the weak, and it makes no sense. I mean, it makes absolutely no sense. The violence that's happening and the damage that's been going on. It's just ignorant, you know. I know people are upset, but that does not make any of it right.
Yeah. I thought I was gonna have something like super profound to say, but I feel like, there's also just times when just have to just be in your feels about it and
Yeah, man. I mean, this is just the process, right? I mean, we're processing, we're going through it. I mean, it's very hard to see and to digest. But even at times like this, it's like, okay, God has a plan, so
mm,
gotta
mm,
trust, gotta focus on that, and continually make sure that the frequency that I'm on is one that is again building and educating and encouraging, right? That's the frequency that my heart has to continue the vibration on. Because if it's not, the signal that I'm going to be sending out is completely off, and I don't want to be doing that. So it's how do I find the peace within um, and fight the fight with that, because it's definitely not about. It's not about punishment. It's
mm.
about just making sure that it doesn't happen again. You know.
Yeah.
So
And I know as we wrap up, I always like to wrap up on asking our guests to give, um, any last encouragement or like something that's really been weighing on your mind that you really wanted to let everyone know.
um, I mean, I think I kind of went over everything in the sense of like what I really hope people just watching this have a better understanding of where our hearts are at and what we really want to do for the community, for the people. And it's not just something of like, um, it's not just for anything else but that. I mean, because the only way things are going to change and be different is if we be the change ourselves, be the change that we want to see in the world happen. And by doing so, we have to be able to display, um, dis- display a heart of grace and justice and all that good stuff. But it's not easy, and I know it's not. And just get connected. Um, Words of encouragement is just get connected. You're not alone. And yeah, man, we're gonna continually do this, and the only way we can get to it through it together is together. So yeah, my mind is still a bit foggy, man. I literally just woke up 30, 40 minutes ago, but
No, we appreciate you, brother. You know, you from you're one of our most passionate supporters, and we appreciate you. And happy New Year, Lunar New Year.
Happy New Year, man. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. You
it,
know what's crazy? Like you see the NBA make commercials about the Lunar Year, right? But then yet when something or it's about social justice, it's like silence. There's really nothing. You know, I'm not trying to call out the NBA, but I'm just saying, like,
oh, no,
you know,
NBA.
but it's like these types of things just kind of like, wow, when it was good for everybody, it's great, you know. But when it's not, everybody just loves to start pointing fingers, and rather than pointing fingers at themselves, you know. So it's yeah. Anyways, so
I think
yeah,
kind of like an important point to um, end on is it's easy to see the speck in their eye, but not the plank in your own,
right, right,
and
yeah.
have to really just reflect and just be aware of who we are, our actions, how we're impacting people.
Yeah, because everybody can impact some person, some way, shape, or form. I firmly believe that. You know.
Absolutely. Just like you have clearly impacted millions of people around the world, and you've impacted our organization, our movement, our family. You are a part of that family, and we love you. We appreciate you, and from my standpoint, like obviously I look up to you, but like as like just being able to have like developed like a friendship with you, and being able to like just talk to you and pick your brain and your heart. Like I appreciate you, man. I really do.
Appreciate you too, man. Seriously, thank you for everything you're doing, Sam. Seriously.
Man, I can't do it alone, and we're in this together. So one day we'll meet, and then we'll be able to chop it up in person. So it'll be cool.
Yeah, we'll have to do it in person, in the flesh soon,
As
hopefully.
we got to get the whole like I feel like we got to get the whole like hate is a virus like family together, like people.
Yeah, we'll go somewhere. You know, we'll either go to like Boston or you come to LA.
It'll be crazy.
Yeah.
It'll be
All
all right, man. Hey, have a great rest of your day. We appreciate you, and happy New Year.
right.